Hello, all my lovely friends. This is Chloe, Oracle, Fae Mystic, Earth Sensitive channel, what have you. I am kind of coming late to the game on this whole Doreen Virtue thing. I really feel for those that this is affecting very deep in their heart centers and in their spiritual space. I've always admired the woman. Early in my journey, I was given, especially when I discovered oracles, I was given a copy of her Magical Mermaids and Dolphins. This is probably my first deck of hers, and the only ones I have of hers are what I call her elemental or nature spirit leaning ones. I was never really that drawn to her angel stuff. And I know this whole situation with her change of heart or path is heavily affecting those of you who have taken her courses or who she's been kind of an inspiration, a healer, a parent. I commented on one or two channels of some of our lovely fellow readers who are really being affected by this emotionally, and I just got to say that I understand how you feel. I guess I'm not coming into this late in the sense that when she started putting out the tarot decks and a few other things she started doing, I started feeling a heavier sense of a draw for her, more serious in her focus with Christianity and Christ and things like that. But she has always been a sort of Christian with kind of liberal New Age tones floating with her. And so I guess I'm just not as affected by her changes as some of you are feeling, but I do sympathize because I like I said, I have like only her what I consider her elemental decks. The mermaids, the two fairy themed oracle decks she put out, and my favorite to this day is still the Healing with Fairies. I love the book that she wrote with this as well. Matter of fact, I had the book and I lent it to a few people and ended up not having it anymore. I have a few of her other books, like the one of her original books about the light what do they call it, light workers way, or things like that, and even the one she finally put out about being a light worker, creating your own business, your soul purpose business, and those like that. I think it was called Angel Therapy Practitioner Book or something like that. I can't remember. I do have it somewhere, but I haven't read it for quite some time. And honestly, I mostly got it because there are just not a lot of books written for people who have spiritual service type, you know, self-employment, or, you know, however you want to think of yourself. We're of service to our fellow siblings of Earth, and we are trying to help them reflect and see clearer their situations and the energies and currents that they've built around themselves. And as I was tempted as well to take a few of her courses earlier through my spiritual searchings and practices and leanings, but I got dissuaded every time. At the time I was a little annoyed by it. Like I really wanted to do her workshops and take a couple of her certifications, but every time I was blocked and moved to do something else. And I'm not saying this in a way of saying somehow I lucked out. Not at all. I mean, I was very inspired by her Earth Angel philosophy and beliefs, and I still think there's a grain of truth there. I believe that there are some of us who are reincarnated from other nature spirits to try to improve the currents and the lifestyle and living between us and nature. I do believe that. Whether they're angels or not, I don't know. I don't know about that aspect of it. I am not an angel worker. I am not someone very drawn to the angelic aspect of things as some of you are. And I just want to say that you know, if you're looking for another focus or a voice or something, and you're not necessarily clinging to the Christian or angel or whatever aspect of her thing, but more a continuing path to fill in that gap she's leaving you with. I'm a big lover of Lucy Cavendish. She's kind of paused on putting out a lot of stuff right now, but Lucy Cavendish's work, she has fae decks, she has um, mermaids, you know, the different style, and there's a little bit more of light and dark in her work. Still a little bit on the positive side if that's what you're looking for, but I've always been able to find a really great balance of light and dark. My favorite deck of hers is the, well, I like a lot of them for a lot of different reasons. And recently, I've been really hesitant on buying a new unicorn deck because this was the first one I bought, and I really liked it, and I love how they designed it. But yeah, Doreen Virtue is very, very light and bright. Okay. And for me, it was hard getting any more of her work because she kept talking about Jesus, angels, and all this other stuff so much that I just, you know, it isn't my path and I just can't go that way. And it was creating a lot of resistance. And I know she talked about, I went ahead and looked at a couple of the videos, both from some of you who are being affected by her and a couple of the things she's put out recently. And I just want you to think about how you would react if you had such a swing in your views. And I gotta say, I really don't, in so much as what she's saying about tarot and divination and stuff like that, I can see how that is very affecting of us in the community. But I also don't see this as such a huge shift as others might see it, just because she has always been about Jesus. Maybe what she calls the teddy bear Jesus or whatever you want to call it. But she's always been about Jesus. She's always been a Christian. There's always been the undertone. And maybe I guess the difference for me is just I was resistant the whole time to all that stuff. I had released it so long ago. And if that is your spiritual path, then yes, of course, this has affected you deeply. She helped make things more acceptable for people on the Christian white lighter, kind of lighter pathway and current people to find a path to find peace and healing. But for those of us who are more not as much Christian bent, but maybe still likes to work with angels or really does like to work on the more positive side and finding ways and affirmations in a positive direction, this could be really tough. And I just want to say, you know, you probably already know about Lucy Cavendish. I know I talk a lot about her. There's this other lady, her name is kind of Cordelia Francis Babs, and there's a few other UK deck creators out there that has some really interesting decks. They didn't really feel real drawn to them, but you might because they are a little bit more on the white lighter side of things. This one I like, but she does talk about some certain healing modalities that I'm not really clinging to, but I love the artwork. I love the messages on here. It is a little wordy for me, but if you're looking for a new direction and a new way to go, you might not cling, but go ahead and shift to these other oracle creators and workers of spirit, because Doreen isn't the end all be all. She is just a very smart, influential, caring woman who truly does love and care about so many people. It's just her path isn't going to be everybody's path. Not everybody is pulled to, I guess you could say, Christ, Jesus, and all this stuff, the Holy Spirit and the three, whatever. You know, I used to know more about that stuff. It was not my path, so I just basically shifted and accepted that I was not going to be able to trail along with her anymore, as inspiring as she could be, quite a few years earlier than this event, the events of this year. And I just hope that instead of doubting your spiritual path, you can just accept she's shifted, she's changed, and the good you got from her previous work does not nullify your work now. Okay? She is an older woman shifting in her term of life, and her focus is going to be different. She's going to be making peace with her God, her prophets and whatnot. And there are certain lifestyle choices to be made when you're following a Christian faith in the manner that she's going. And there is aspects of this kind of openness that is not completely accepting or accepted within that aspect of Christianity. And I think if you are truly involved in that, then that's something you might need to become in peace with. But if you live in a more liberal stream, if you live in a more, Jesus is more about love than about judgment and all that stuff. And she's saying some of that still. She's now just not having ego about where the messages are coming from, aside from her God and Jesus and stuff like that. I personally feel that what I read when I read for people is coming from their currents, what they have built around them, and the interaction of the energies of Mother Earth that we live within, and those kindreds who live with us here, be it spirits of nature, be it other beings who share this space, be it even our ancestors. Now, I don't necessarily channel or do mediumship, although I've had the every occasional voice change and kind of channeling type thing go on occasionally. It's not something I control. It's not something I look to do. I more try to connect with the person and the air energies around you to get a sense of what you've built up in your in your fate, so to speak. And to me, it's weird. It's more of a built up of what you had through even your ancestors to the actions in your personal life that you're living right now. She is on a totally different stream, and I think you need to decide for yourself if what you're doing works for you, if it is improving your life, if it is still helpful in your life, then don't worry about her. Move forward, do the good work. People who are looking for help and are needing it will find you. Don't worry about Doreen Virtue's changes. She's probably going to have more changes coming up, and all we can do is thank her for the tools she's given us to explore our spiritual natures and improve our lives, and allow her changes without finding judgment on ourselves or even her. I know there's a lot of money involved from some people that shared what they've invested in her teachings, and I can just say, no matter what path you pursue, there is some expense involved, and you really have to just judge it by what you've gained from it, and redirect yourself to something that's more in your flow, that's healing for you, that helps improve your life, and not be so hung up on changes in others. Okay, so big hugs to everybody having huge emotional shifts due to this change in her heart. But no, I feel she is truly still a very loving, perfect person. Her priorities have just shifted, and we need to just let it go. Okay, if you have any ideas, thoughts, or comments, feel free. But otherwise, I just want to say, there's a lot of other awesome workers out there that you may feel more in line with. These are just a couple I pulled really quick, that to remind you she isn't the end all be all, and there are so many other tools and great teachers and paths for us to explore and find ourselves with. Yeah, just know I feel where you're at, and I kind of already went through a separation from her a few years back, so I just want to let you know it does get better, and you don't have to, like she says, throw the baby out with the bathwater. She had some good teachings there. I still feel that she isn't totally nullified just because of this change of heart. But I also, am not really following her stream too much anymore either. So peace, big hugs, and please tell me what you think, and please make it positive. I'm not here to debate any negativity or anything like that, but I am happy to even hear your sorrow if that's what you want, but let's not be too argumentative. Okay? All right. Hugs. Bye.